Ladies and gentlemen, what is up, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be talking all about the progression path in Marvel Contest of Champions, basically how you get from doing Act 1 to Labyrinth of Legends, and in which order you should do some stuff. But just as a disclaimer, guys, this is all in my personal opinion, my personal piece of advice. You can do stuff slightly differently if it kind of suits your needs, but this is like a very rough idea of kind of where to focus next, because that was one of the questions that I get quite a lot on the channel, is I've done this and this, what should I be looking at doing next? And I wanted to hopefully address that in quite a bit of detail in today's video guide. So anyway, we're going to start from the beginning, guys. As a new player, so the first thing obviously is Act 1 completion, but I've put in brackets maybe exploration as well. So if you're doing Act 1 exploration, you get the fully formed 3-star champion, but if you get really lucky in some of the early crystals in the game and you get a 4-star character, you actually don't really need to worry about going back and doing the exploration, because you can just blitz on to the next chapter. And then Act 2 completion, I wouldn't bother with exploration. I still haven't personally done that myself, because it gives you a 3-star and it's a whole lot of time, whole lot of energy. All of this stuff is very easy to start off with, so just move on then to focusing on doing the monthly event normal completion and also the monthly event normal exploration. That's going to give you rewards that you need to take up 4-star characters, and it's very good to do and get into the practice of doing. And this is the point where after this, to progress on, if you haven't already taken the time to learn to parry and evade, this is where you want to get up the YouTube guides and find out how to parry and evade. Definitely suggest Dork Lessons tutorials on how to do this, so those will be in the description, guys, if you want to check out those video guides. But this is ideally the point where you want to up your game and learn how to utilize those mechanics, and also make sure that you have a solid mastery setup, because all this stuff is pretty face roll, pretty obvious, but I wanted to mention it. And then you have Act 3 completion, so that's downing Thanos, and then the monthly event heroic completion. That's pretty quick and easy to do. And then Act 3 exploration. I suggest exploring Act 3 100% before moving on to Act 4, because that's going to give you a guaranteed 4-star champion. Very valuable to do. So yeah, just get it done. And once you've done that, move on to the monthly event heroic exploration. So if you're a bit of a new player, you don't know what the monthly events are, just to clarify, whenever you go into event quest in the game, they're going to be the thing on the far left that has the day timer that's usually between like anywhere like between about 1 to 35 days. And they come around every month. So the priority for kind of like a lot of progressing players is just to make sure that kind of you're nailing this event whenever it comes down, and kind of making that your priority when it comes around, because obviously the rewards, you know, they're resetting every month, so it's something to kind of definitely add to your list there. But once you've got the heroic exploration on lockdown and you're feeling pretty confident about that, I would then look at pushing toward Act 4 and doing an initial completion on that, taking all the easiest paths to go to Maestro. That is another 4-star character. It's also some tier 4 basic catalyst, which you can use to upgrade your most powerful 4-star to rank 4 level 40, and that's going to make stuff generally a lot easier. And by this point, you should have a nice roster of a few maxed out 3-star characters, maybe a couple of really good 4-stars as well. So then you want to move on to the monthly master event mode completion. So that one is pretty easy to do. Now, I've put a line in the sand here. This is all content that I believe, even for newer players, is pretty easy to do, providing that you understand the combat and you can parry and evade. You can do all of this stuff with 3-star characters like quite easily, but this is where it starts to get a little bit more tricky for 3-stars to remain competitive in these various aspects of the game. So we move on to monthly event master mode exploration. It really depends kind of what is out there. The monthly events really change so much every month, so some months they can be significantly more difficult, and some months they're a little bit of a face roll. The last few months have not been too bad at all, but there was an Iceman X-Men one a few months ago that was just horrendous. It was so bad. So yeah, after you've done completion, the next thing to work on is probably the exploration for the monthly event, because you want to be farming those rewards every single month. They are so good to get for the heroic and master mode. And once you've got both heroic and master mode unlocked, you'll get to kind of this point where you don't really need a lot of the normal rewards, and you can start phasing that out. But especially kind of as you're progressing, as you're getting a lot of 4-star new characters, you want to make sure you do the normal for the T1 Alpha. Like, that's pretty valuable for a lot of new players, because they can be a little bit tricky to get at the start of the game. And then the next thing you want to work towards, now this is a little bit up for debate, and really depends on your skill level, because these are about the same. I think Act 4 Exploration overall is maybe a little bit easier, but it's very, very long. Very, very time consuming to explore all of Act 4, just because there are some insanely long lanes there, but it got nerfed significantly in terms of its difficulty in patch 12.0, so it's nowhere near what it used to be. So yeah, that's about the same difficulty as Realm of Legends. Now, Realm of Legends really is all about having, we have a specific guide for it on the channel where I talk about it in quite a bit of detail, but it's all about having a really good damage character to deal with 10 of the fights, and a guillotine or some way to deal with Realm of Legends Wolverine. It's really nowhere near as difficult as it used to be. And even if you do have like a really good 3-star Star-Lord and you play very well, you can still possibly use that to defeat Realm of Legends. But for most people, it's just having a good like rank 4, really hard-hitting 4-star character, and you can just blitz through it. It really isn't that difficult. And then you get 4-star Rhino, Cyclops, and Ronan, who aren't really that great, but you know, it's good to get some more 4-star characters, especially for kind of farming arena. And farming arena is always going to be a background thing and something that you can do whenever you're out of quest energy. And farming arena is just like by far the best way. You know, if you're not spending money, if you want to be a free-to-play player, it is the best way to get as many champions, as many units, as many gold as possible, as much gold as possible, should I say. So yeah, farming arena is just it's the pro tip that nobody wants to hear. But you know, if you make a head start on this in the initial kind of 60 days, because in the initial 60 days you're in a beginner and intermediate bracket, and you're only competing against people in that bracket for the rewards, so it's much easier at the start of the the first 60 days to get those really good champions and just expand your roster. So yeah, some good stuff there. But once you've done Act 4 Exploration and Realm of Legends, you're probably feeling pretty damn good about yourself. That's where you want to look at doing Act 5 Chapter 1 completion. Some really nice rewards from that. Also Act 5 Chapter 1 Exploration as well. Once you've done it, the next step is to explore it, and that gives you another generic awakening gem. You get one of those from Act 4 Exploration as well, so you can awaken hopefully some good characters like a Star-Lord or Dr. Voodoo, some of the best ones. But if you want information on that, we got a video guide for that as well. Now, the next thing you want to be kind of prepared for is the occasional celebrity challenges that come up in the game. We usually see these about between every like 2 to 4 months, and they've been stuff like Dave Bautista's, Chloe's Warriors of Awesomeness, Mignar's Cavalry Challenge, Coulson's. So if you want to look up what those challenges entail, you can on YouTube, but they're like a little bit more difficult than the first chapter of Act 5, generally speaking. But yeah, they aren't too bad, but one of the kind of overall themes, if you're kind of a brand new player to Marvel Contest of Champions, is look at all the stuff is on this list. You do not want to be spending any of your units on crystals. They are so bad. So there's always something to save your units for in terms of like potions, revives, energy refills, all that good stuff. And do not buy crystals, because you're just going to get 2-star champions, and it's going to be a waste of your units 99% of the time. So once you've kind of got that off the radar and unlock, then you probably want to look at now this is a little bit up for debate on which one's next. You've got Act 5 Chapter 2 completion. I think like there are 6 quests in this one, and 4 of them, the first 4, like, they're pretty easy. There isn't too much in them. But the final 2 are a bit of a pain in the ass. You have to use like the collector. You have like this crazy node in the last 2 chapters, which means you need to play very well. But getting through the completion, it's a pretty good idea to push for it. It shouldn't take too much effort, and you can probably do it in an evening. And then next up, you have Road to the Labyrinth of Legends, which Road to the Labyrinth is all about having just a very wide variety of regen and utility characters. So you just need characters like magic that can power lock. You need poison immune characters. You need characters that can reduce defensive ability accuracy. So Road to the Labyrinth is kind of a real test. You know, if you don't want to spend too many units, it's a real test of kind of your roster and what you have to deal with the various challenges in there. But, you know, if you don't have the right champions, it's just a case of, like, spend units and revive and push past certain bosses. It isn't too bad, but I think Act 5, Chapter 2 completion, for a lot of people, that's probably going to be a little bit easier to mash through. But they're both about equal difficulty, I'd say. And this is the part, ideally, we get into the difficult stuff now, which is where you want to learn to intercept like a god. So check out some of Dorky Diggity Dave's videos on how to intercept, and also a YouTuber that I really do suggest watching if you want to become a little bit more familiar with intercept combat. The Analyzer, really great gameplay. That guy's probably the best Marvel Contest of Champions player that uploads to YouTube. So intercepting is basically like kind of predicting exactly when the opponent is going to hit you and then hitting them at that exact moment. So it takes a lot of practice to get used to, but yeah, it's a very, you know, once you can nail intercepting, oh my gosh, it feels amazing. I can't nail it, I can get the occasional one, but it feels pretty damn good, lads, I tell you that. But that's definitely something to add to your list there. And next up, you have the Labyrinth of Legends initial clear easy path. This one, for a lot of people, I think a rank 550 Star Lord is kind of the go-to option now, and that's going to cost you anywhere, but depending on your skill level, between about 6,000 and 10,000 units worth of items to do. So it's very expensive, but the rewards for doing that are pretty insane. You know, you get a ton of T4 class catalysts. You get what is it, 4 more T2 alphas, so that allows you to get a second rank 4 5-star character, and yeah, a load of 5-star shards as well. So it's very good to do. For the units invested, definitely something to save up for if you are a progressing player. And then the next thing to work on is Act 5 Chapter 2 Exploration, which is a pain in the butt. I'm currently working through that myself. You need to be very good at intercepting, especially in some of the last chapters, to avoid paying like a lot of units for it. It's a little bit tricky, but yeah, ain't too bad, And then finally you have Labyrinth of Legends 100%, which is just crazy. There's so much BS in this, so much Clown Fiesta stuff, but that is the hardest thing in the game at the moment, and that content and 100% of Labyrinth of Legends is just designed to like milk the whales. And to do 100%, you need to do like 7 runs total. So yeah, it's a lot of running Labyrinth there, but that one is a lot to save up for. You know, in terms of units, for the average player, well, I don't know, it's just anywhere between like about 30,000 to 50,000 plus units for Labyrinth of Legends 100%. Very expensive, but it's something to get around to eventually and keep on your radar. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the suggested progression path of what to do. You know, if you're looking for champion guides and which champions are best, we have tier list on the channel. Check out the video guides playlist, that should help you out a bit. But yeah, apart from that, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the overview of the progression path and kind of my pro tips and stuff on the journey that we have had in today's video. If you liked today's video, feel free to slap a like on it, that'd be greatly appreciated. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching, take care, and have an absolutely fantastic day.